What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the episode. Today's adventure on our Down and Dirty, we're going to talk about this situation we've got right in front of us. We had a gravel train dump a giant load of roadstone, and I've got to push it way to the back. And I actually, just gave myself up on my own Down and Dirty. I was going to trick you guys and say, we should cart it back with the bucket, but I accidentally said push, which is exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about how you can be more productive with a skid steer by using it, and this is to be official and technical, this is a CTL, a compact track loader. And the key terminology I want you guys to hear there is track loader. If you have ever watched someone in a 953, 963, 973 track loader, you're going to notice that they absolutely use the bucket to lift and carry, but a lot of time they spend running the machine with that bucket down on the ground, shoving like a dozer, because you've got a really good capacity on your bucket to begin with, but then you can shove 2 or 3 times the amount of material you normally can just carting around with your bucket if you just drop it to the ground and go. And that's what we're going to focus on today. How do we prep this pile so that we can actually push and move it substantially faster than if we were taking it a single bucket at a time? Now, before everyone goes all ape wild in the comments, I recognize there are only certain situations this is going to work. Obviously, if we were on a landscape job and we've got a big, nice yard, we're not going to want to shove dirt through the yard. But this is an application where we are sitting here in a driveway. We've got a perfect long push set up. This is a great application. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make this dirt pile passable so that we can get up on top of it and start shoving material off the front. So that's what we're going to work on. So what I typically do, if it was a smaller pile, is I would get a bucket about like what I've got here. So kind of come into it, raise up, make yourself a ramp, and then we would just shove forward and kind of roll the pile over top of itself. Now, because this is a gravel train load and there's actually 2 loads, I don't have the oomph to do that. So I'm actually going to come back here and dump this material and make myself a ramp. And yes, I know, I'm well aware I'm going the wrong direction of the way I want to push. That's okay. Sometimes you do a couple extra movements and motions to be more productive overall. And so now what I've got is I've got a little runway. I'm going to start carving this down. Because you got to think, the lower I get the angle of the pile, the more power I have to apply forward motion to the dirt. And so when it's really steep, you don't have a lot of oomph and pushing power. But the flatter we get this pile, you're going to see, look at that, we're pushing through that second pile already. And we're just going to keep working our pile just like we have. I'm going to drop back here just to kind of level myself out. And as always, you're going to see when I load that bucket up, the first thing I'm going to do is put some down pressure on my tracks by pulling up on the boom arms. And you're going to feel that in the machine as a rookie. When you pull up on these boom arms, you can feel the machine tip forward because you're loading the weight onto the tracks, which gives you more traction, which means you can push more material. So I'm going to back up, give myself a little oomph. And now you can start to see we're really close to being able to shove a nice chunk of this dirt out. In fact, this one might be the one. Let's see how we do. So we're loading up on the boom arms just a little. So I can dump this out here, and we're going to go back for another, because we can do better. Assuming I don't roll myself off the pile here. So we'll go right about here. I'm going to angle down into my pile. Load the bucket. Little up pressure. Oh, we dug too far. So that's okay. We're going to lift up. So this is really, really sticky material. And so she does not push nearly as good as she does in like clay. Just pure clay. All right, here we go. That's a good push. So we're really loaded up. Now look at how much material we are able to push with this machine. You can hear it straining, and I want to be very clear. There's a huge difference between abusing the machine and working the machine. There is nothing abusive about making the machine work. This is totally fine. I'm keeping an eye on my hydraulic temperatures as we do this over and over and over through the day to make sure that we're not getting any spikes on our hydraulic temperature. But as long as all of your temperatures are staying in range, this is just working the machine. You're pushing with maximum effort, but we're not abusing the machine by doing this. But you can see we've probably got at least 2 buckets worth of material that we're carrying forward on this push. This is way more than I would have been able to do just by scooping a bucket. And we can get this all the way to the end, dump it off, and go back for another pass. And like we were talking about before, as we get the angle going up the pile, as that angle diminishes and becomes smaller, we're going to be able to push more and more through that pile. So that's all I've got for today. Don't be afraid with skid steers. And yes, I know our step plate's getting all loaded up with dirt. Oh my gosh, people are going to throw a fit. It's okay, guys. That's all going to knock off. We can rinse that off. We can wash it off later. This machine's going to clean up fine. Again, we're not abusing the machine by making it work hard. Now, am I going to take that weight and try to lift it up over the cab? Absolutely not. But when you're set up where your boom arms are down and they're kind of up against the frame and you can really shove, you're pushing with the full frame of the machine. The machine is made to take that. So that's all I've got for today. I hope this has been helpful. We'll catch you guys on the next Down and Dirty.